Okay, I'm Michael Wilson Barber. I have a very small YouTube channel. Like and subscribe. Click the link below. I decided it was time to do another album review from 1983 when I first started buying LPs. And today's edition is Def Leppard, Pyromania. By the way, this album cover would probably never be made today. They would just say, no, you can't do that. Having a building on fire, exploding. Nope. So, anyway, unfortunately, this is not my original copy of Pyromania I had in 1983. I probably sold or traded mine in to a record store for another album. Remember how you used to be able to take records in and trade them in and get something new? Anyway, I got this copy on eBay. I do have the original 45 Mercury Records Rock of Ages, and on the B side it has Billy's Got a Gun on the B side. This is the original copy that myself and my brother Matt had. I think Matt might have bought this one, I'm not sure. But Pyromania was a huge album for Def Leppard. After High and Dry, their second album, they had Mutt Lange, who was producing AC/DC, produce High and Dry, and they had a song and a video, Bringing on the Heartbreak, from High and Dry that actually did make airplay on MTV. And Mutt Lange then also produced this album, spent a lot of time working on producing this album. It was released in January of 1983, and Phil Collen was a new guitarist in the band. The other guitarist that they had, one was fired for apparently excessive alcohol consumption. Imagine that, a rock star doing that. But Photograph, I believe, was the first single from this album, and it just skyrocketed Def Leppard to the pop charts. Kingdom, including airplay on MTV, and made it all the way to number 2 on the US album charts, stopped only by Michael Jackson's Thriller, that was number 1 for so long. By the way, I never bought a copy of Michael Jackson's Thriller. I kind of regret that I didn't at the time. But at the time I figured, there were so many of those songs being played on the radio. It's like you didn't need a copy of that album because it was just everywhere. It was on the radio, it was on MTV. Michael Jackson was everywhere. He was so good. But I never got a copy of Thriller, and I thought about getting a 180 gram. Anyway, Pyromania, I don't know what the original sleeve looked like. If it was like this plastic sleeve. I think I remember Pyromania having a sleeve with words on it, just like a lot of the other albums at the time. So this is what it looks like. Again, produced by Mutt Lange. It's got matches on the back with the songs listed on the matchsticks. Very good album. It really shot like British heavy metal to the forefront. Other bands like Iron Maiden, for example, come to mind, and there were several other British heavy metal bands. Well, actually Queen was a little bit before, for example. So the album listing, side A is Rock Rock Till You Drop, Photograph, Stage Fright, Too Late for Love, and Die Hard the Hunter. Strong, first side. Side B is Foolin', Rock of Ages, which again I have Rock of Ages on the 45. This is the original one from 1983. Action Not Words, Coming Under Fire, and Billy's Got a Gun. So a strong third album from Def Leppard. It sold 10 million copies as of 2004. Very big album. Lots of hits, lots of videos on MTV. And it only sidelined Def Leppard a little bit when their drummer was famously in a car crash and lost his arm and relearned how to play drums with one arm. Rick Allen, I believe, is his name. Anyway, Hysteria came after this, which was more hugely successful than this album. By the time Hysteria came out, CDs were becoming popular. LPs were kind of on their way out. But this was the era in the early 80s where you would buy an album like this, bring it home, and record it on a cassette. So then you could have the cassette and then take it with you in your boombox or your Walkman or wherever you were going. If you were going out to a roller rink or something, it's like, hey, I got the cassette. So you wouldn't have to take the album with you. So, all right, Def Leppard, Pyromania, 1983. One of the first albums I ever owned. Probably about my first top 10 albums that I ever owned. Okay, bye. God bless.